gives me great pleasure to invite you to the curtain raiser of the India Governance Forum organized under the aegis of the 83rd SKOCH Summit. The India Governance Forum is in its 20th year and is the oldest governance leadership summit. Its recommendations have had a profound policy impact across the center and state governments, and it is one of the few conferences and platforms where the focus is on field research-based, knowledge-rich arguments that bring felt needs to the policy discussion table. May I please invite Dr. Ghurcharan Dhanjal, Vice Chairman, SKOCH Group, to welcome you to the India Governance Forum this evening.
Well, good evening and welcome to the India Governance Forum. Thank you very much, Rohan, for this warm introduction. I will not repeat what you already said. Rather, I will utilize next 5 minutes to take you through the journey of SKOCH. SKOCH, SKOCH, SKOCH. Many a times, those who come in touch with us, they deal with a dilemma as to what is this SKOCH. A, it brings smile on their face. B, they feel that is it an Indian company? Is it SKOCH or SKOCH? What are they dealing with? And it also kind of, causes a confusion amongst those who come in touch with us as to, after dealing with SKOCH, what next? So I'm going to be addressing all these three dilemmas. Start with a small anecdote. When we took the proposal for SKOCH Award, SKOCH Lifetime Achievement Award, to Mr. Chidambaram, the very first thing he also asked, that SKOCH Award for a teetotaler. And Mr. Kocher, who was sitting in front of him, told him that I am the founder of SKOCH, and my name is Sameer Kocher, and the acronym comes from my name. So this sketch of a vision was written, was born in the year 1997. And we have seen many seasons. We have seen uphill drive, we have seen the downhill drive, and with perseverance, grit, and commitment, we have reached a stage where we are all gathered in this room.
स्कॉच फाउंडेशन को और उसके सभी पदाधिकारियों को हृदय से बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूं कि इस पुरस्कार के लिए उनने मेरा चयन किया है.
Mr. Sameer Kocher's book on Modinomics is being released today. We've just had the benefit of listening to him. I must say he's a very blunt man.
He is really a very resourceful person.
समीर जी, I want to thank you very much. हम लोगों ने सबने अपनी जनता की प्रतिज्ञा ली है समीर जी. ये प्रतिज्ञा लेके सेवा की सोच करके हम यहाँ इस मंच पे आए हैं.
मैं फिर से धन्यवाद देती हूँ कोचर जी को, क्योंकि उन्होंने अपनी मेहनत, अपनी लगन से, मैंने अपनी मर्जी से यहाँ आए हैं अपनी टीम के साथ. उन्होंने अपनी जिंदगी का 3 पूरे दिन हमको दिया है.
Thank you very much, Sameer ji, for this opportunity. You said I've attended. This is my 3rd event at SKOCH.
नीचे से उठ करके ऊपर आने वाले समीर कोचर.
समीर कोचर जी मेरे बहुत अच्छे मित्र हैं.
I congratulate Shri Sameer Kocher.
Thank you to Sameer Kocher for putting together.
You know, the reason why I've shown you this video, not to show the faces, of political leadership, but the warmth that this political leadership brings onto the platform. We are absolutely apolitical, not aligned with any kind of ideology or any kind of color, and everyone feels extremely comfortable being part of this platform. So this is the warmth that the political leadership eludes about SKOCH. We are a 360-degree coverage since 1997. We are a public policy think tank, which brings the voice of the people onto the policy table. 1997, when we started, Mr. Kocher founded SKOCH Consultancy Services. Soon enough, we realized that there has to be a medium to take whatever voices we are collecting at the grassroots, that we are interacting with people, and the learnings therefrom to be taken to the larger mass. So we set up a media company and which publishes Inclusion and has been publishing SKOCH State of Governance Report ever since. We have published more than 18 books. Mr. Kocher is a reforms historian. He's the author of Modinomics and has penned down 18 volumes so far. We believe that in today's digital age, the power of narrowcasting cannot be denied. For broadcast, there is enough. To reach out to your target audience, there is only one medium, which is narrowcast. So we believe SKOCH TV fulfills that gap. SKOCH Development Foundation works at the grassroots, is a center of excellence with Ministry of Tribal Affairs, and this feeds in our field level inputs into SKOCH research, which further goes on to impact policy. And then we have, of course, the CAII, which is the CEOs Association for Inclusive India. This is an antithesis of FICCI and the Confederation of Indian Industry and the other industry organizations, which ask for SOPs. Here, the like-minded CEOs get together and say that this is how we can contribute to the inclusive growth of the country. On the left, you can see two prime ministers releasing 2 books by Mr. Kocher. We work with almost every central ministry, and we work with almost every state government. In terms of knowledge, we are most respected. So much so that the book, A Brief History of Indian Reforms, The Untold Story, was released by half the cabinet. And as I said in the beginning itself, that we believe in no colors. So we have one chief minister tweeting about the SKOCH Award, and here we have the Prime Minister who is tweeting about a Mudra report which was researched and submitted to the government by SKOCH. We are most visible. We make full use of the national media in order to reach out to our target audience. This makes us perhaps the most respected in terms of knowledge that we bring to the table, and at the same time, not very big in terms of size. But in terms of knowledge, we perhaps are the biggest in the country. SKOCH Awards remain extremely aspirational, as you can see from this slide. These are some of the volumes that Mr. Kocher has penned down. On the extreme left, you can see Modinomics. Interesting story to it. It was the year 2013. Mr. Modi, as Gujarat Chief Minister, called up the author, Mr. Kocher, that Mr. Chidambaram has made a quip that my knowledge of economics, Mr. Modi, my knowledge of economics fits behind a postage stamp. So what do you think? Since you also have biographed Mr. Chidambaram. The quick reply was that approaches may be different, knowledge is the same. And the rest was laid to rest. The term Modinomics was coined by Mr. Kocher, and the book was written, and thereafter there was no debate on the economic understanding of Mr. Modi, now the Prime Minister. These are our distinguished fellows. As you can see, we have been drawing on the wisdom of bureaucrats, media, industry, regulators. When we organize each round of SKOCH Award, almost everyone goes through several rounds of evaluations, right from submitting the nomination to participation in exhibition and finally the popular vote and so on and so forth. At each stage, we are guided by their wisdom. So College of SKOCH awardees as well as the experts help us identify the best practices. One thing that has remained with us and that has taken us scaling heights year after year is our conviction and belief that if you do not walk the straight and narrow, people do not walk along. You will be dropped halfway through. It has been a painstaking journey. It has been an uphill task. The journey has been arduous. But yes, maintaining neutrality with honesty and not getting bowed down to any kind of external influence or pressure is what SKOCH stands for and is exemplified as much in SKOCH Awards. So as I said, that SKOCH Award is bringing best practices which are replicable all around, and there are several beacons of hope, which is what we have discovered in our journey in the last 25 years. And as I said earlier, that the knowledge and the wisdom that we bring to the table is something which is respected. That's the reason when we honor people, they accept. And then when we invite, they oblige us. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us for this evening to celebrate such high number of achievements from all around the country. And with this, I invite Mr. Sameer Kochhar, Chairman, SKOCH, and the author of Modinomics, on stage, please.
Good evening, Namaskar. Thank you so much for gathering here this evening from all across the country. The primary reason we are here is to celebrate all of you. It's it's a collective effort of everybody in this room that keeps India going and keeps India great. I am not a very well-educated person, which I confess at the beginning of every speech. My formal education is only till class 12. And whatever I have learnt in the University of Life. So, I talk in homilies, I talk from personal experiences. And what I would like to share with you is that, all of us, sometime or the other, we would have cried seeing a movie. कोई भी ऐसा नहीं होगा इस कमरे में जिसने एक फिल्म देख के ना रोया हो कभी लाइफ में. There must be one film that made you cry. I cry easily, so I have cried during several films. The first film that I remember that I cried, I just not cried, I howled through, was in 1974. I was 10 years old then, and the movie was called Roti, Kapda aur Makan. It was a movie by Manoj Kumar, and it was such a true reflection of what was going around us. Extreme inflation, extreme unemployment, extreme hunger, extreme poverty, and we were living all of that. I come from a very poor family. We used to live in Paharganj then, and on a third floor with erratic electricity, no water supply. Sometimes we used to get 1 meal a day, sometimes we used to get 2 meals a day. So I could relate with that film so much. I remember I saw it in Khanla cinema. It was the cheapest cinema in Main Bazaar, Paharganj. I think some 60 paisa was the ticket or something, and I saw that to escape life, but I came back crying and really feeling very miserable. And I was reading the way situation is going economically. Somebody writes that we are possibly heading back into the stagflation of 1970s. I think we are a bit far from that, but the situation that every country faces today is fairly precarious. It's not just India. So let me share with you what is this India Governance Forum and what are we trying to discuss this time in it. As I said, the going is tough for everybody. So whether it's center or state, so let's look at the central government. What is happening today? The unemployment rate is up, inflation is up, interest rates are up and going further, rupee is down, new investments are down, salary jobs are down, growth to consumer demand is down, and capacity utilization is not so good. This is the state of the economy. And on this background, very recently, World Economic Forum, where all Indian companies and all Indian state governments go to attract Indian investments into India, to talk to Indian leaders and give interviews to Indian television channels in Davos. The World Economic Forum said that these are the risk factors for India. Number one is fracture of interstate relations. There is increasing friction between the state and the center, and this is something that needs to be addressed. There is debt crisis in large economies that may impact Indian economy further. Widespread youth disillusionment is happening today. Trains are being burnt. Failure of technology governance. You've already seen what is happening in crypto. So many people lost money. What is happening in data protection. What is happening in many other areas where, through technology, it is possible to do regulatory capture. And the digital inequality between people who have digital. Like, one of our early ads 10 years back we had done, that 407,000, 40 crore ke kareeb Indians jo hain, gareeb hain. And they are gareeb because, and when you talk to the government and you talk to think tanks, they're poor because they don't have internet, they are poor because they don't have bank account, they're poor because they don't have school. Actually, they're poor because they don't have money. It's very simple. So these inequalities are going to create a big problem for all of us. Average GDP growth is down from 1720 itself, which is pre-COVID. Average GDP growth in that period was 5.7%. The GDP expected is not too great either. So if you look at real GDP growth, will catch up with cumulative annual growth rate only by 2035. This is not my data, this is Reserve Bank of India. There is no hope for $5 trillion economy by 2024 at the expected 7.2% average growth rate. Our own prediction is that by 2030 we will barely touch the 5 trillion. Gross capital formation is low and is not expected to improve soon. And a high ICOR, which is high incremental capital to output ratio, points to increased economic inefficiency. So things are like really bad. So something needs to be done. On this, it's not that it is bad just for India. This is a situation that practically every country is. We are probably relatively better off, but then we have a lot to catch up with in any case. For the states, the story is tougher. If you look at the state finances, these are precarious. Specifically after GST, the state's ability to tax anything is nothing. I mean, they can't tax anything. Debt to GSDP ratio for states is 33%. In 2021, primary deficit of state, which is the deficit that can be addressed through borrowings, was 5.38%. and 85% of this amount needs to be financed by market borrowing, and the average cost of market borrowing is 6.3% and going up. Social sector is a big resource guzzler. If you look at all states, almost 43% of all expenditure goes towards social sector, and power sector is bleeding state finances. I think we were leading state finances and bleeding it. Employment situation state by state again is precarious. And what is more worrying is, the labor rate participation. Half the people who are eligible for employment are not even looking for it. There could be two reasons. One reason is no suitable jobs available. And the second reason, which sounds more true to me, is that over the past 15-20 years, we've created this welfareism or dole economy that people don't really want to work. So if you look at their labor shortages, you look at domestic help not available, look at drivers not available, look at plumbers not available. They want to go back to the villages. Why? Because they'll get Narega wage, they'll get free ration, they'll get free bijli, they'll get free gas, and they have this little piece of land where they'll grow their vegetables, and the little pokur where they'll catch the fish and eat it. So subsistence economy is back. Why would we want to work? On the other hand, socio-economic stress is building up, wealth inequality. There is large and surplus liquidity that is fueling inflation. Debt to GDP ratio for the country is at a scary 89%. Weighted average cost of government borrowing, I already mentioned, is 6.3. Wealth of top 1% and 10% has grown, while the bottom 50% is reduced. Unemployment rate is quite high, but nearly half the employment workforce does not want employment. So looking at this situation, center, state, what is the policy direction that could possibly help break this impasse? So infrastructure is seen as savior both by the center and state. Huge push on infrastructure to fix economy, employment and GDP ahead of 2024 elections. So you have these mega schemes like Gati Shakti is there, Jal Shakti is there, and so many other schemes. Huge amount of railways where a lot of money is going into infrastructure. The problem with this is cost escalations and time delays. Very large number of projects are delayed, 32% are delayed, 51% projects have actually no proper date of commissioning, and there is 18.18% increase in cost. This in a scenario where there is no investment, there is no capital, the cost of borrowing is up, economy is down, inflation is down. So in that light, what is it that is corrective, that is required? At SKOCH and at India Governance Forum, for 20 years, we've tried to lead this discourse that, cut through the mess and say what are the 5 or 10 problems that need to be addressed and how. And the agenda for India Governance Forum, which is also a curtain raiser today, is cutting time and cost delays of all infrastructure projects. Focus on Gati Shakti and Jal Shakti. These are the two big ones where a lot of money is going. Trying to bring ICOR back to 4. Massive technology adoption. Most of these projects are using very poor technology, so some amount of efficiencies can come in. Hardly anyone is using BIM. Most advanced countries where infrastructure and efficiencies are used, they use for every engineering project something called building intelligent modeling, where you just don't do work on 2D or 3D, you also have cost layer, you have time layer, you have a spatial layer, and you can actually control a project end to end, and you can really pinpoint where you are going wrong. It helps you reduce costs, so on and so forth. GIS is very sparingly used in India. Gati Shakti is the first time where GIS is being used through silo busting in a national mode, where all the major national projects are coming together. Mission mode silo busting at both center and state, just the way Gati Shakti has done. Even at the state level, they have to have a coordinated attempt at one governance. Power sector reforms have to be pushed. Competitive welfareism has to be curtailed because no one has really the money. If you give everything free, then who will pay for it? We must differentiate between what is essential, like food, what is merit, which is like maybe education and what is desirable welfare. And whatever money we have, we must, idly spend only on essential, and then what is left on merit, and desirable should be left. The next problem, as I said, is channelizing youth energy because of unemployment, a lot of other factors, a lot of youth distress is there. So can we use volunteerism? Can we bring some of these things then, because this employment problem is not going tomorrow? So what does the youth do in the meanwhile? So between 15 years to 29 years of age, can we use them for volunteerism? Can we use them for nation building? Can we give them a direction? In what way this youth energy? So can we create something called Yuva Shakti is what we are moving towards. And finally, last but not the least, accelerating financial inclusion. Financial inclusion basically meant defeating poverty, moving up the people up the economic ladder, which meant that credit had to be more easily accessible, there had to be livelihood linkages, there had to be SHG formation. But over the past 10 years, we find that all this is now translated into only giving doles and benefits. So the infrastructure that was created, the BCBF model, the products that were created, Jan Dhan Aadhar Mobile that was put in place to make sure that credit reaches the needy, actually, and capacity building and removing poverty became a scheme for delivering welfare. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but now that DBT is in place, welfare delivery is happening, it's time to revisit the purpose for JAM, purpose for financial inclusion, and say that how do we make people save, how we give them pensions, how do we give them small savings, how we give them investments, how do we give them credit, and how do we link this credit with livelihoods. So these are very large problems, and that is why India Governance Forum is going to take 4 months this time. And we hope to see you all participate actively in it, and we are able to come back with recommendations that is going to make India great, and hopefully no child will see roti, kapda or makan again and cry. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Kocher. I now invite Mr. Rohan Kocher to present the SKOCH State of Governance report card. Rohan.
A very good evening once again to all gathered here. And thank you very much to Dr. Gushran Dhanjal for inviting me. Mr. Samir Kocher, Chairman SKOCH Group, spoke about channelizing youth energy. He spoke about infrastructure being seen as a savior. It reminds me of something that Mr. Nitin Gadkari said on this platform. He said, Rajniti se badkar lokniti hai. Policy is above politics. And in that spirit, we are delighted to present to you the SKOCH State of Governance report, the report that matters, India's only flagship national governance timeline assessment based on primary research and outcomes. The SKOCH State of Governance report goes through several phases of periodic evaluation, right from a call for project submission to internal evaluations and face-to-face interactions and peer evaluations, to popular votes, to a semi-final list called an order of merit, and an expert vote by peers, contemporaries, and subject matter specialists. The project level research methodology, each singular project received by SKOCH goes through a comprehensive scoring after undergoing several phases of evaluation. At the level of the state, all well-performing projects within a state are identified. Projects in each state are aggregated, categorized, and analyzed sectorally. And at the national level, these comprehensive state scores determine national rankings, and we map these movements over time. As well-performing projects are submitted by states for evaluation, they undergo a first round of vetting and shortlisting by a trained team of specialized research analysts. The shortlisted projects undergo primary evaluation by a jury of no less than 3 domain experts. And the overall impact is assessed for new projects, whereas ongoing projects are evaluated on the basis of a delta, which is incremental improvement. and a simultaneous peer evaluation is conducted by those undertaking similar projects. Based on this average score, a cutoff threshold is determined and a second shortlist is derived. Field research is undertaken to evaluate the impact through intervention outcomes and benefits received by the intended target population. These projects are then put to a popular vote only by verified registered users on the SKOCH web portal. And based on this cutoff, the projects qualify for a semi-final order of merit. Merit-listed projects then garner expert votes through the exhibition and live polls to achieve an absolute score, and each project therefore receives a comprehensive score. A total of these decides state and sectoral performances. Top-ranked states fall within the category of stars. States undertaking commendable work are performer states, and states that are striving to make good efforts fall within the catching up category. The SKOCH State of Governance Report 2021 witnesses a trailblazing performance by Assam, Odisha, and Himachal Pradesh. Assam has been able to improve its rankings from 23 in 2020 to number 9 in 2021. Odisha witnessed a jump from 8 in 2020 to 3 in 2021, whereas Himachal Pradesh has been able to make a similar transition in the same time period from 16 to 10. Andhra Pradesh is number 1, West Bengal is number 2 in the SKOCH State of Governance Report 2021, whereas Maharashtra, Telangana, and Haryana have been able to improve their rankings in this report. The other states in the report. What does this report reveal? If we look at a cumulative score of 2 time periods between 2014 and 2019 versus 2020 and 2021, we see a sea change in the performance of some states, which is also evidenced by the rankings of these states, which are then mapped over time. We're able to see a jump of 80.81 from 2014 to 2019 for Andhra Pradesh to 128.3 within the time period of 2020-2021. And this exercise is visible for all states nationally, and also the rankings which then go on to determine which state tops the leaderboards. It is often assumed that policy direction and policy impetus at the center and the states is matched. While that is a popular perception, the actual on-ground reality is sometimes vastly different. Since we work very closely and study government and governance at the level of the state, these are the sectors with enhanced focus that we discovered: urban development, rural development, power and energy, finance and revenue, education, ease of doing business, and agriculture, which translates into a shift of policy focus to also other sectors which have received renewed focus: tourism and culture, sports and youth affairs, which Mr. SKOCH spoke about, social justice and social security, labor, irrigation, housing, horticulture, handlooms and textiles, geology and mining, forest and environment, food and civil supplies, disaster management, cooperatives, animal husbandry and fisheries have all witnessed a renewed focus in 2021, whereas there are also those sectors wherein policy focus has shifted away from. These happen to be women and child development, water, transport, skill development, municipal governance, municipal sanitation, police and safety, infrastructure, health, general administration, e-governance to an extent, and district administration. The top 5 ranked states in the SKOCH State of Governance report sectorally across agriculture, health, rural development, police and safety, transport, finance and revenue, district administration, women and child development, municipal governance, ease of doing business, e-governance and water are presented before you. We enjoy national coverage across leading dailies when we speak to government, when we speak to governance, and we speak to the people of India. Inclusion captures the SKOCH Governance Knowledge Repository, which serves as an important tool, a resource of best practices for other states to learn and emulate from the learnings of each other. Our nominations for the SKOCH State of Governance Report 2022 are currently open. Please do apply. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a moment much awaited for SKOCH Star of Governance Award. And may I request Mr. Kocher to kindly join us on stage. And I have the pleasure of inviting Mr. Sanjay Mohan Bhatnagar, Deputy Commissioner IT, Department of Cooperation and Public Service Management from Madhya Pradesh, for cooperation. The Department of Cooperation, with the help of MAP IT, has implemented integrated cooperative management
Mr. Sanjay
information
Gupta,
system,
Commissioner, if you kindly join us.
where common citizens who are keen to form cooperative societies in the state can apply online for its registration. The department has a total of 63 cooperative offices across the state, and various tools and debugging techniques have been adopted to design the system and make it user-friendly. Complete business process re-engineering is done to make it user-friendly. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
थैंक यू वेरी मच, थैंक्स अ लॉट स्कॉच. कोशिश हम लोगों की ये रही है कि चूँकि हम लोग एक फार्मर ओरिएंटेड स्टेट हैं, तो कोऑपरेटिव के ज़रिए ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा आईटी एनेबलमेंट और जीपीआर के प्रोसेस से हम सर्विसेज अपनी बेहतर दे सकें, और इसी दिशा में हम लोगों ने काम किया है. और एक सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट काम जो हम लोगों ने पिछले वर्षों में किया है वो है हमने ऑडिट ऑटोमेशन, जो हिंदुस्तान में पहला था, यानी रेंडमाइज्ड ऑडिट ऑटोमेशन था, जो कहीं नहीं था, जो हम लोगों ने शुरू किया. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Pleasure. So before Gulsharan moves on to the next award, let me tell you, in the excitement of receiving award and giving award, what we forget is कि इसमें जो यादगार है, only that picture will remain. So the picture must be picture perfect. So when the award is announced, you make up your mind who's receiving it. One person should come and receive it, and you want to call others, then they come and they also take a formal picture. We have enough time. There's no rush. We can take 2 formal pictures if required. Right?
Mr. Vinod, State Monitoring Officer ICDP from Bihar, for cooperation. The Mukhyamantri Harit Krishi Sanyatra Yojana pertains to the procurement of quality agri implements through GEM portal while ensuring cost efficiency and operational transparency. The primary agriculture credit cooperative societies were enabled to enter into transactions on GEM. The state has had agri implements banks or custom hiring centers even before, but they were mainly being operated by individual entrepreneurs.
देखिए ऐसे पोस्ट बनता है.
Thank you, India Governance Forum and Award and SKOCH for bringing this wonderful event before us, where the excellencies, the distinguished guests are present. It is very pleasant for us that the confidence you have shown in our policies and implements. One brief thing I would like to say about that, what all has been explained about this award is very encouraging for us, because we are working under the Department of Cooperation, under the guidance of our Commissioner Secretary, Madam Vandana Priyasi. Under her guidance, we have explored and created a platform where the rural peasants, the marginal farmers, the small farmers have an alternative remedy of equipments and updated equipments available at their village doorstep at a very handful price, tariff rate, available for cultivation of land. And this thing has created an immense potentiality of production in our state. The most important thing that we have done this is by offering tenders under the GEM, the government e-marketing, where a great achievement in terms of finances by saving money. For an example, I can say that the market rate of tractors in the market is 7 lakh plus. But now under the GEM bidding process, we have purchased for our societies at a price of 4 to 5 lakh. You can say around 3,000 tractors have been purchased till now and other equipments also. But we have saved so much money for the government as well as for the people of the area. Thank you very much.
For district governance, Anantapuramu, Andhra Pradesh, Mr. S. Basava Raju, District Handloom and Textile Officer. Under the minor irrigation system, the villages under the project are having sufficient water for irrigation and crops are showing a healthy growth trend. Out of a total of 35 habitations which were taken up for improving the supply of drinking water, 31 habitations are getting purified drinking water 24/7. In another intervention called Handri Niva Sujara Saravanthi, efficient use of water for irrigation is encouraged. And for water conservation, the district launched the Integrated Water Management Program alongside MGNR NREGS that has improved the groundwater levels. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mr. Saroop Uday Kumar, Joint Secretary, MSME and Textiles, West Bengal. Ease of doing business. The Department of MSME and Textiles has automated its systems for auto renewal of licenses and has also set up a single window system, Silpasathi, a self-service portal that not only guides but also enables an investor to apply online. Under its efforts of ease of doing business, the department is ensuring end-to-end automation to include auto-renewal of certificate of enlistment through online system for all urban areas across the state. E-Nathikaran is a centralized web-based system of registration since 2014. Congratulations. I have the pleasure of inviting Mr. Bratya Basu, Honorable Minister in charge School Education and Higher Education, West Bengal, for education. West Bengal establishes a digital data management system for schools. Banglar Shiksha 3.0 is about e-governance in the education system implemented by the Department of School Education. It is a unified digital symbiotic ecosystem set up as a new management system for all school-specific data about each education-related process. Banglar Ucha Shiksha is a digital data management system under the Department of Higher Education. A portal has been developed dedicated to collecting and maintaining data related to higher education institutions in the state. Over 12.5 lakh students have made use of the portal in a single year. Congratulations, sir.
I made one small thing. Thank you, Mr. Kocher. Thank you, sir. I thank the SKOCH Group and for conferring the prestigious Star of Governance SKOCH Award in Education Award on our beloved Bengal. I think and express my deep gratitude to the people of Bengal who have allowed us to serve them. The achievement is one more testimony to the visionary and inclusive leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister, Srimati Mamata Banerjee. And my friends, I assure you that this will not be the last feather in our cap, but a new emerging Bengal. There will be many more. Bangla abar Bharat Shobhay Shrestho Ashon Lobe. Bengal will surely lead our country once again. And I firmly believe when Mr. Koch said today in his initial lecture, when he has seen roti kapda mokan, that is actually the reaction of a human being. And as Newton say, every action is opposite and equal reaction. That is always not true for every human being. Only my honorable CM, I have seen her. She has strong reaction about the people, for the Bengal, for all our people, and I firmly believe she is the only leader in India. She represents Bharat Barsho, not only India. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Ms. Shraddha Jani, Deputy Director IT, Gujarat Informatics Limited, Government of Gujarat, for e-governance. Gujarat Chief Minister keeps a strict vigil on the delivery of government schemes to the citizens of Gujarat on a real-time basis. As a good governance initiative, the CM dashboard brings all the stakeholders across the government on a single platform. The Department of Science and Technology has implemented GSDC VC application that has led to massive transformation during COVID. 8,000 plus members, approximately 30,000 minutes used across 1,000 VCs during the pandemic. Same time, the Gujarat State Data Center has implemented secure VPN solution without any additional cost to provide facilities for work from home for all the government officers. Congratulations.
Thank you, the India Governance Forum and the SKOCH Group to assessing us, the state, as a digital governance state, which serves the services to the citizens of the state through a very well managed digital governance and application with the help of technology. So I am feeling very proud to represent my state here in this forum.
Gujarat has topped this category many times.
From Himachal Pradesh, for Finance and Revenue, Mr. R.D. Janartha, beg your pardon, Additional Commissioner, Excise and Taxation. Plugging the revenue leaks and proactively prioritizing proper collection has greatly helped increase state revenue. Service delivery in the state has improved, and so has the ease of doing business. Computerization of VAT has led to the overhauling of the entire VAT system through computerization. These efforts have resulted in a revenue growth of 33.59% within the first year of project rollout. Interestingly, District Good Governance Index is a first-time initiative by the government of Himachal Pradesh. This method of assessing the performance of districts on different themes has motivated all the stakeholders in providing good governance at the grassroots level. Congratulations.
Good evening to all, and thank you, Kocha sir, for recognizing and acknowledging the efforts made by Government of Himachal Pradesh under the dynamic leadership of our Honorable CM, Mr. Jairam Thakur, and thanks a lot again, sir.
From Jammu and Kashmir, for Food and Civil Supplies, Mr. Akhtar Hussain, Chief Account Officer, Directorate of FCS and CA. In an end-to-end computerization of targeted public distribution system, the state has introduced a method of improvement in the distribution of food grains. The initiative has led to the complete transition from offline to online mode of PDS to bring in transparency, efficiency and accountability. It spans 500,000 beneficiaries with a network of 278 fair price shops. Congratulations. May I now request all the awardees to kindly join us on stage for a group photograph. So far, those who have already received the award, kindly join us on stage.
You know, there are 30 awardees, so they can't fit in one picture. So we are doing them 10 at a time.
Sir, please join us.
Sir,
for a picture.
Kindly come. Join us. Manisha.
Mrs. Kocher.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Minister wanted to invite his team as well, so we could do that. You wanted to invite some more people, right? Oh, okay, fair enough.
The next time.
All right, fair enough.
For Forest and Environment, Government of West Bengal, Mr. Saurabh Chaudhary, Member Secretary, West Bengal Zoo Authority. To protect mangroves in the coastal regions, the Forest Department, with the help of residents and women SHGs, onboarded all the stakeholders to encourage local ownership of the project. Over 5,000 hectares of mangrove cover has been achieved in 3 coastal districts. Women SHGs have been brought into the fold for nursery management and planting too. Local practices and knowledge have been optimized to identify mangrove propagules with the potential to plan nursery management strategies. Trenches and fishbone channels have been developed to trap newly created silt to provide improved germination for the mangrove. Congratulations.
Good evening, everyone. This was a maiden entry of Department of Forest, Government of West Bengal in SKOCH Award, and I thank the organizers for recognizing our works. This award belongs to 10,000 families who worked day and night for planting, planning, and managing the mangroves, and creating that coastal shelter bed, which not only save the coastal areas, but it will be a future guard for the state of West Bengal and the metro like Kolkata. Under the dynamic leadership of our Honorable CM, we planned and organized this massive plantation of more than 20 crore mangroves within 2 years. They will require another 5 years to grow and another 5 years to care. So thank you everyone. Thank you the group.
Congratulations again.
For Forest and Environment, Government of Odisha, Dr. Mona Sharma, Additional Chief Secretary, Forest, Environment and Climate Change. General Administration, Bihar, Mr. Manoranjan Kumar, Administrative Officer, Bihar, Prashasanik Sudhar Mission Society, General Administration Department. The Bihar Right to Public Service System by Bihar Prashasnik Sudhar Mission Society is a step in the direction of digital governance as the future of administration. Introducing a digitalized version of the service involved a transition and training period, where both the service providers and users need to adapt to the new platform. A right-based approach to public service delivery has been adopted. Geology and Mining, Gujarat. Mr. H.P. Patel, Additional Director, Development, Geology and Mining Department. The mining villages in Gujarat have traditionally suffered because of the lack of adequate healthcare infrastructure. The mobile medical units formed by District Mineral Foundation, the miners have access to proper screening and diagnosis services for both communicable as well as non-communicable illness. The project serves a population of 31,000 people in the aspirational district of Dahod and 56,000 people in Panchmahal. Congratulations. Handlooms and Textiles, Government of Telangana. Mr. Jayesh Ranjan, Principal Secretary, Industries and Commerce. The Department of Handlooms and Textiles launched Chineta Mitra scheme towards improving wages for weaver artisans. Under the scheme, the artisans are provided 40% input subsidy linked to wage compensation. So far, more than 75,000 weavers have benefited from the scheme. The state, under its Textile and Apparel Policy (TTAP), is attracting investments and generating employment in the sector. Incentives include capital and operational assistance. The department is investing rupees 3,000, and targeting to create up to 10,000 jobs per annum. Congratulations.
Congratulations, JSG. You know, I have the pleasure of knowing JSG for many years, and he's one of the most brilliant public servants that I've come across. He wears several hats in the state. For IT, his state has been #1 so many times that I've forgotten. They've got it for industry as well, but handlooms and textiles is a first. So congratulations, JSG. Would you like to say something?
For Animal Husbandry and Fisheries, Andhra Pradesh, Dr. Sidri Appala Raju, Honorable Minister, Animal Husbandry, Dairy Development and Fisheries. It was difficult to monitor employee attendance, livestock vaccinations, and other welfare schemes of the department. This contributed to poor healthcare for livestock and also reduced productivity. Pashu Sanrakshap app resolved the issue of irregular attendance through a geo-referenced attendance system. Another, Aqua e-Crop by the department, has created a mechanism to gather aquacultural crop data and identification of registered and unregistered land categories. Congratulations. Agriculture, Andhra Pradesh. I have the pleasure of inviting the Honorable Minister, Dr. Sridhari Appala Raju, once again. To supply pre-tested quality inputs and to carry out procurement, 10,725 Raitu Bharosa Kendras have been set up as a one-stop shop for farmers. There is one RBK per 2,000 population in rural areas having agricultural activity. This has created a proper interface between the farmers, scientists and the extension officers at the village level, covering all 54 lakh farmers in the state. Congratulations.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, dignitaries on the dais, dignitaries off the dais. It's a great boon for Andhra Pradesh under the able leadership of our Honorable CM Sri Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy garu. Like never before, in post-independent Andhra Pradesh, so many reforms in agriculture, animal husbandry and fisheries. One of its path-breaking activity in agriculture is that's a one-stop solution for all kinds of farmers, that is Raitu Bharosa Kendras. It's a path-breaking step in Andhra Pradesh. Every state in India need to take some cues from this project, from this program. Likewise, in animal husbandry, even in fisheries, so many reforms. You all know, aqua is well developed just because of the sheer entrepreneurship of the private partners in Andhra Pradesh. But during COVID, we encountered so many issues regarding transport, exports, imports and all. Even in such kind of difficult times also, Andhra Pradesh could able to withstand that COVID injury to the aqua, and it stood number one in India, and it's an exemplary to the entire nation, what I feel. This happens just because our Honorable CM, he had taken a humongous Padayatra, what we call. Humongous Padayatra. 3,648 kilometers he had walked across the state when he was in opposition. And he know what to do. And he had that kind of vision to sustain all these industries. And we are going forward. Today, we received this SKOCH Gold for fisheries and animal husbandry, and the other award for agriculture sector. Thank you. Thank you very much.
God bless you. You are a brilliant Chief Minister.
For Horticulture, Jammu and Kashmir, Mr. Mohammad Akbar Wani, Secretary, Horticulture. Leveraging technology, the Directorate of Horticulture, Planning and Marketing is playing the role of a facilitator between the buyer and the growers of walnut, apple, almond and saffron. The service comes free of any charge. The growers used to suffer earlier due to the presence of middlemen. Growers now receive advance payments. They are not only getting a better price for the produce but also saving on the commission charged to them in the APMC yard. Congratulations. For housing, Government of Rajasthan, Mr. K.C. Meena, Chief Engineer, Rajasthan Housing Board. Rajasthan Housing Board was struggling with a very large unsold housing inventory totaling up to 18,000 units. A concerted effort was made to engage with the public and generate awareness and enthusiasm about upcoming opportunities. RHB offices got a facelift with IT-enabled help desks. As many as 11,432 properties were sold in 2 years, clocking in a revenue of rupees 3,179 crore. Congratulations.
Good evening, all of you. I thank SKOCH Group Chairman Sri Kochar Sir and India Governance Forum and Awards. राजस्थान हाउसिंग बोर्ड पूरे परिवार को इस अवार्ड पे बहुत प्राउड है और बहुत ही गौरवान्वित महसूस कर रहा है. उसके लिए पूरे राजस्थान हाउसिंग बोर्ड की ओर से उन्हें स्कोच ग्रुप के चेयरमैन और इस फॉर्म को धन्यवाद ज्ञापित करता हूं.
For irrigation, Government of Odisha, Mr. Vijaya Kumar Mishra, Engineer in Charge, Water Resources Department. Mission Kakatiya is focused on repairing and restoring minor irrigation sources across the state. It consists of comprehensive coverage of 46,905 water bodies. Mega Lift Irrigation Project was launched in 2011 to provide irrigation to farmers in upland areas by lifting water from the river. So far, 208 mega lift schemes have been implemented, covering an area of 2.64 lakh hectare. Another one, which is Biju Krishak Vikas Yojana, is a community lift irrigation project that has covered 7.1 lakh hectare approximately, benefiting nearly 1 million farmers. Congratulations. Municipal governance. Thane Municipal Corporation, Maharashtra. Integrated Command and Control Center has been set up in Thane Municipal Corporation to provide updates and alerts to citizens and key agencies for event planning, crowd monitoring and disaster response. Intelligent Transport System of Thane Municipal Transport Undertaking fleet of buses is an innovative and transformational initiative to introduce transparent, citizen-friendly services that enhance citizens' experience. DigiThane, the digital ecosystem of Thane, is a platform to provide G2C, B2C and C2C services to the citizens of Thane. More than 5.6 crore interactions have taken place and approximately 56% of the city population is onboarded to DigiThane. Congratulations. For municipal governance, Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh. Dr. D. Vasudevan, Chief General Manager, Varanasi Smart City. It was out-of-the-box thinking that led the leadership at the Varanasi Smart City to combat and mitigate the impact of COVID-19. Apart from setting up a dedicated helpline, the city created a GIS-based dashboard to assign patients to hospitals. All major L3 hospitals were brought under CCTV surveillance on a real-time basis. The Kashi Integrated Control and Command Center worked as an integrated war room for Varanasi during the pandemic. In the last 4 years, Varanasi Nagar Nigam has managed to rope in communities and made them equal stakeholders in keeping the city clean. It has changed their old littering habits. The Nigam has centralized the system of waste collection, transport and processing via ICT-based system. Congratulations.
Thank you, SKOCH Group, for this award. You all know the geopolitical importance of Varanasi. Varanasi has its own glory and it has more challenges than its glory. So we have been striving hard using technology and all means of governance to help the citizens and keep the city clean and better. And we have done an exceedingly good work which I am proud of, and for this the award is given for the COVID time. So I use the Command and Control Center. We have entirely in IT driven COVID management, which we have earned several awards from several forums. So thanks SKOCH Group for this one more award. So these awards help us to do more, do better. Thank you.
May I now request the second batch of SKOCH, recipient of SKOCH Award, to kindly join on stage for a group photograph.
Please.
Rohan, can you join us? Power and Energy, Government of Maharashtra, Mr. Dinesh Wagmare, Principal Secretary, Energy. Maharashtra State Electricity Transmission Company is propelling Digital India, enabling best-in-class data connectivity for economic growth. One of its kind, it today is the largest network in the state with dark fiber availability. The utility has also implemented smart solar 2x50 net metering at Chakan. Power consumption is reduced by almost 50%. Supply, installation, testing and commissioning of interface energy meters along with automated meter reading is another implementation, the first in India to implement Samast guidelines. Congratulations.
Good evening to all of you. I thank India Governance Forum as well as the SKOCH Group and especially Samir Kocherji for awarding Maharashtra with this award. And actually, Maharashtra has taken a great lead in the form of Maharashtra State Electricity Transmission Corporation, has implemented many projects of connectivity, and especially we have installed optical fiber cables to improve our visibility and connectivity. Various substations are connected, and we are the first state to implement Samasta guidelines in terms of we have installed automatic meters. All generation, transmission, distribution interfaces are now connected with the automatic meters, and they are connected with the SCADA system. And also, Maharashtra has carried a record 30,000 megawatt of electricity, and we have provided 24/7 electricity during the COVID time also. During this very crisis time, and we are facing, the whole nation is facing coal crisis, and we have kept our generators almost at 85% availability, and we didn't have load shedding in Maharashtra. I thank Honorable Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Honorable Deputy Chief Minister, and our Honorable Minister Energy for providing all the support to Energy Department. Thank you very much once again to SKOCH Group.
Congratulations.
For Rural Development, Government of Andhra Pradesh, Mr. Gopal Krishna Dwivedi, Principal Secretary, Panchayati Raj and Rural Development. To help ameliorate the living conditions of women in Andhra Pradesh, the Society for Elimination of Rural Poverty launched YSR Chayuta, which helps women in the state explore income generation opportunities. The project has helped 24 lakh rural women. Under YSR Asra, nearly 80 lakh poor SHG women from urban and rural communities have been benefited from the program. Yet another one, which is Grama Ward Volunteer and Village Ward Secretariat Department, has created a dedicated platform for electronic services delivery. 3 crore plus government benefits have been delivered to the citizens worth rupees 80,000 crore per year via DBT. Congratulations.
I thank SKOCH Group for recognizing the good work done by Rural Development Department in Andhra Pradesh. As you might have seen already, we have got number 1 in agriculture, animal husbandry, followed by this rural development. This completes the whole circle because Andhra Pradesh is primarily a rural state, and because of that, our Honorable Chief Minister has also been ranked as number 1, and under his leadership, a number of initiatives have been taken. I accept this award on behalf of all rural development officers, staff, and everybody who has helped us in doing good work. Thank you.
See you back.
For skill development, the Government of West Bengal, Mr. Subrata Das, Deputy Director, Industrial Training, Technical Education, Training and Skill Development Department. During the pandemic, polytechnic students of West Bengal state had to adapt to learn from home and also learn to take exams remotely. The department developed an e-learning portal for maintaining continuity of education for students during the pandemic that helped over 3 lakh students. E-governance application of the government polytechnics has a dynamic content management, transfer management and higher study management system that covers all 2,629 employees, 218 heads of discipline and 72 store in charge. Social Justice and Security, Government of Odisha. Mr. Biswaranjan Sasmal, Special Secretary, SC and ST Development, Minorities and Backward Classes Welfare Department. Under Mission Jivika, the annual income of farmers has increased and there is a 120% increase in area under cultivation by the surveyed beneficiaries compared to the 2020 Rabi season. Under Alternate Learning and Mentorship Program, the department covered 2.5 lakh SC/ST students, provided a platform for 4,000 teachers to have first-hand interaction with children in their community. And to transform residential schools, the department launched Mission Suvidya, an independent third-party assessment of 256 hostels were conducted and management guidelines were revised. Congratulations.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Greetings from state of Odisha. I would like to highlight 3 important things which has not been presented and communicated and not discussed. Honorable Chief Minister of Odisha, Sri Naveen Patnaik, has been recognized as a dynamic leader, no doubt in it. But what has not been often spoken, during the COVID pandemic time, he has emerged as a compassionate leader. Under his leadership, not only Odisha has managed the COVID pandemic, but has reached out to other states in supplying oxygen, particularly during the second wave. And the award has been given for the social welfare sector. One of the component of social welfare sector actually cuts across the sector. It looks more as an innovative, thoughtful and meaningful intervention for the educational development. Though it was conceived and implemented by the ST and SC development department, but it cuts across all educational spectrum. I would emphasize little on that. When on 24th of March 2020, countrywide lockdown was declared, we had around 5 lakh students, ST and SC, boys and girls, in our 1734 residential schools, in 6,000 hostels. Overnight, they have to be, in fact, they have to be evacuated. They have to be relocated to their community and villages. in the remotest part of the state. I will come to the sacrifice part little later, but the government, in its compassion, has thought of reaching out to them because they were staying in the hostel, they were given education and holistic developmental interventions in the school and hostel. So government thought of reaching out to them. The most important critical part is here. Then the government reached out to all the past students, tribal elders, teachers, past teachers, current teachers, and NGO volunteers. And they were groomed as mentors who took classes, open air classes following COVID pandemic protocol in the villages. They went to the village. This is the critical part of educational intervention. It has contributed in the social belongingness, having a hope. If you remember and if you recall the hopelessness situation in COVID pandemic, wave 1 and wave 2, that is the time our teachers and mentors created hope in the community, in the students. Now the sacrifice part. When the students were evacuated from the hostels, hostels were overnight developed into COVID care centers. Hostels saved life. That is the sacrifice our students have given. We, as a government, we don't believe in publicity, we believe in work, we believe in silently working. What I have explained, that is for the publicity. I would like 6 lakh of our students, ST and SC students, should feel inspired for their sacrifice, for their commitment, for their contribution for the community. With this, I thank all of you. I thank India Governance Forum and SKOCH team. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Bande Utkala Janani.
Thank you so much. Very touching speech. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Biswaranjan Sasmal. I now invite sports and youth category, Mr. Prashant Joshi, Commissioner, Sports, Youth and Cultural Activities from Government of Gujarat. With the motto of Stay at Home, Play at Home, the project Mobile to Sports was launched by the Sports Authority of Gujarat during COVID-19 to encourage sports persons to continue with sports skills training and fitness program. For it to have a wider reach, the content is localized. The Facebook campaign had 26,000 followers, on YouTube nearly 30,000. With over 4 lakh views, the content was watched in 58 countries. Congratulations.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much, SKOCH Group and India Governance Forum and Awards. I would like to thank my entire team, and on their behalf I am receiving this award. So thank you very much for working day and night. We are not only engaging in other social sectors, but for sports and cultural activities, we have tried to tap the virgin talent right from taluka level to district level. And for that we have started this Kala Mahakumbh, Khel Mahakumbh and all other cultural activities. And we are very happy that we have found some very good results. Once again, we acknowledge this award and thank you very much, SKOCH Group. Thank you, sir.
For Tourism and Culture, Madhya Pradesh, Mr. Vivek Shrotriya, Additional Managing Director, Madhya Pradesh Tourism Board. Madhya Pradesh Tourism Board launched safe tourism destination for women in Madhya Pradesh through awareness, education, training and employment. It intends to make tourist places in the state women friendly. So far, 50 tourist destinations in 20 clusters have been earmarked as safe. In January 21, the board started an open-air drive-in vaccination drive called MPT DDX Drive-in Cinema to revitalize the entertainment space. At the same time, give people an opportunity to look forward to getting vaccinated. People now drive into the arena, do the paperwork inside their cars for the vaccination and wait for their turn while watching a cinema. Congratulations.
Appreciation really gives good feel. Thank you, Samir ji and Indian Governance Forum. And I would also like to thank my team from MP Tourism and all the stakeholders who are associated with us. Thank you very much. We are doing, we are shifting our focus a little bit from the known destination to the rural tourism now. So I invite all of you to visit MP and enjoy our hospitality. Thank you very much.
Thank you. For transport, Government of West Bengal, Mr. Rajesh Kumar Sinha, Principal Secretary, Transport Department. Help ever, hurt never is the motto of South Bengal State Transport Corporation, which is striving to be the best state transport undertaking in the country. Training, sensitization and regular meetings with the shop floor workforce and the front level field staff and crew is being given utmost focus. Towards this, SBSTC has developed an integrated transport management system that has modules like traffic management, inventory management, budget and accounts. The corporation is continually expanding its operations to cover remote areas and has a current strength of 932 buses to increase to 1,368 by 2025 in accordance with its Vision 2025. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Co-Chair. Thank you, SKOCH Group. Thank you, India Governance Forum. I thank my team Transport in West Bengal, our visionary and dynamic Chief Minister Honorable Mamata Banerjee, our Minister Shri Firhad Hakim, and all the members of Transport Department who have been honored today. I just say one thing on behalf of the Government of West Bengal, that all the governments would have, as per the report presented by Mr. Co-Chair, reduced their focus on the transport sector. But Government of West Bengal is committed to increase its focus on transport sector. We are committed to ensure people's safety, ensure compliance of the laws, and ensure that we get the pollution-free environment in our state. Thank you very much for honoring us.
Since ma'am has come all the way, could we invite her for a picture?
Water category, Government of Odisha, Mr. Vijay Kumar Mishra, Engineer in Charge, Water Resources Department. From pond convergence to Kanupur irrigation project at Keonjhar, the problem of resettlement and rehabilitation of people affected by major irrigation projects, as well as increasing in agricultural production and increasing farmers' income, all are addressed. At the same time, improvements are witnessed in the water table, soil moisture and drinking water availability. Climate change adaptation project at Naupada is converting places affected by water scarcity into green pastures in 8 villages. Koraput has also taken soil and water conservation measures, which has resulted in 190 acres of irrigation potential and improvement in groundwater table. Congratulations. So with this, we come to the end of the announcement for the third batch. May I request all the award recipients to kindly join us on stage for a group photograph. And as everybody joins in and as requested, Dr. Mona Sharma, Additional Chief Secretary, has not been able to join us, but I'll read out the citation for Forest and Environment from Government of Odisha. What was once dismissed for want of processing technology has become a major source of livelihood today. Kendu leaves. The green gold of Odisha generates on an average 80 lakh man days annually, employing over 1 million rural folks. Most of these man days are generated during lean summer months. Of about 10 lakh beneficiaries, mostly tribal, more than 7 lakh are women.